Your Worth Wednesdays. I love these calls. I really look forward to them. And it's so interesting because I never know what is going to be the topic until just like 30 minutes beforehand. And I'll get a hit and say, okay, this is what we're doing. And I'm going back to the Zoom. Where's my Zoom feed? Technical glitches today. Can y'all see me? There we are. I was like, oh my gosh, more technical glitches. Let me see if there's anybody else coming in. If you're just joining us on Facebook or in the Zoom call, I'm Terri Britt. Welcome to Women Leaders of Love Own Your Worth Wednesdays. This is where we really dive in and help women step into their power, to their truth of who they are, and to their deepest calling, which is as a woman leader of love. And what that means, if you've never read our mission statement on terribritt.com, a woman leader of love is someone who lives full out, who stands in her truth, who gives herself a voice, who lives passionately, who lives creatively, who really gives herself permission to shine her light, knowing that this is her greatest act of service. Because when we thrive that way, we attract outer abundance to our inner abundance, and we become that example for the ones around us. So this is my calling because I've seen how it works. I saw how when I used to be angry and I was denying myself that I was miserable, and I took it out of my family. And when I made a decision to really love myself unconditionally, that's when miracles started showing up. So that's what we're doing here on this Women Leaders of Love Own Your Worth Wednesdays. And we meet here every Wednesday at 2 p.m. Eastern. I'm letting a few people into the Zoom call. Here we go. Just so you know, if you're watching while we're letting a few people get on and you want to be on the Zoom call, I know some of you are watching via Facebook. All you have to do is, if you're not part of our mailing community, go to terribritt.com/leaders and you'll get my Worthiness Quotient Breakthrough Bundle. And this bundle has my Women Leaders of Love ebook, and it has 3 guided meditations, all free. And the purpose of it, it was a divine download. I was literally meditating one day and got a hit that I was going to be writing this, went to try write it myself and it wasn't happening. And then the next day I was sitting and I felt Michael, the archangel, come in and he said, okay, now let's go write. And that's when the ebook came through about really what we women are being called to do. So I love that everybody is getting on board here. And I just realized I didn't hit the record button. So let me do that right now. Yay, remember to hit the record button now. I'm Terri Britt. Welcome to Women Leaders of Love Own Your Worth Wednesdays. So I want to invite you right now to think about adventure. I'm about to go on an adventure and I'm so excited. I'm going on a cruise. And what's so interesting is we're flying out of Miami. And as I was looking at the weather today, this tropical storm that's out in the Caribbean is headed right towards Miami on the day that we leave. The day that we arrive into Miami flying in, it's literally when our flight's supposed to arrive, it says that the storm's supposed to hit. We'll see what happens. And then the next day we're leaving on our cruise and going into the Western Caribbean. I'm so excited because I love adventure. And I think that's why this conversation came up today for me, was adventure. So when you think about adventure, what do you think about? Well, I mean, when that word comes to your mind, do you think of, ooh, it's a little scary? Do you find yourself going, yes, I'm ready to go on an adventure? What comes up for you? Because what I know for sure is that if you want to have a lot more joy in your life, if you want to have a lot more pleasure, if you want to not feel stagnant, and I don't know about you, if you've ever felt that sense of, is there's something still missing? If you want to not feel that, you have to get on to some kind of sense of adventure. Now, adventure can be it can be extreme, right? Like for my youngest daughter, jumping out of an airplane is an adventure. She calls me one day and says, hey, I'm going skydiving. I'm like, what? You're doing what? And so she's got a different sense of adventure than my other daughter, who is building businesses. So to watch their sense of adventure is completely unique to them, and yet it's very real to them, and it helps them to thrive. So what is it that makes you excited when you think about the word adventure, or is there fear? Okay. Because what I know for sure is that when we're looking at being on an adventure in our life, we have to let go of the controls. I remember many years ago, because I was starting to recognize that I loved adventure, when in reality, I had been a control freak my whole life. Okay. I mean, I wanted to control relationships, my work, everything I wanted to control rather than surrendering and allowing the adventure. And I remember one day thinking about adventure, and I imagined coming around a curve. The tendency is for us to know what's around that curve. But when you're really on an adventure, you say, I'm moving forward, even though I don't know what is around the curve. I don't know what the other end is. And that's scary, right? It is so scary. But when we say yes to it, that's when we feel alive. That's when we feel awake. And that's when so many of our ahas come along. But here's the deal. And what I recognized is that there's so much risk involved, right? You have to say yes to risk. And for a lot of us, that's scary. The other part is that so often as children, our parents say, now be careful, watch this, do that. And they're constantly pulling us back from being a little bit adventurous. So sometimes that sense of adventure is in us, but we've lost it. We've lost connection to it because parents thought they were doing us a favor by constantly making us be safe. Now, I believe that Colby, my youngest, who's the crazy one, and she's not crazy, but she has her sense of adventure is still intact because when she was little, she pushed the limits. I mean, we were hiking at Sequoia one time where the big giant trees are, and it was Colby, me, and my other daughter, Mackenzie. And there was this big tree that had fallen over. The roots were giant. I mean, just looking up at the roots, we were way taller than I was, but people were crawling up the roots and then walking down the tree. So I'm watching this, and Colby, of course, wants to go do it. She's, I think, 7 years old. Mackenzie did not want to go. So I'm thinking, okay, well, I need to stay with Mackenzie because she's down on the ground in the sense of that if somebody was going to snatch her, they would be snatching her from on the ground while I was up there and couldn't do anything. The other hand, I have to watch Colby and make sure that she doesn't fall off. But this was a giant tree. She heads up onto the tree. I said, go ahead. And we're walking. And as we realize, as we're walking, following the tree is across a ravine. And so as Mackenzie and I are walking, we're walking down the ravine. So we're getting further and further away from Colby, my little 7-year-old. Well, she's ecstatic to be up there, right? So I'm sitting there saying, be careful, be careful, be careful. And she finally looked at me and she says, Mom, do you not want me to do this? and I just had to take a breath and I'm like, wait, I do want her to do this. This is her spirit being expressed. This is her soul, the core of who she is being expressed. And I said, yes, I want you to do this, but I just want you to stay in the center. Do not come to the edge. I think that's when I got a real glimpse of this child who was going to be a true adventurer in the sense of taking high risk. You know, she was going to make high risk in her life. But I settled into that to understand that this is who she is. And so some of us have, again, that level of risk that we're willing to take in being on a physical adventure in the sense of hiking or doing skydiving or doing crazy things like she did, or taking risk in a relationship, maybe putting ourselves out there and saying, you know what, I've had some bad relationships in the past, but I'm willing to risk it again. I'm willing to let my heart be open and try it again. So there's that sense of adventure one more time. We might find it in creating a company, right? In that we want to expand and give ourselves permission to really express our souls through our business, through our career. Once again, we have to be willing to trust and take the risk. It's scary. I know it's scary, but I see so many people who are settling right now. I can't tell you how many times I've coached women in their 40s, 50s, and 60s, and they said, I just took a job because I needed to pay the bills, and now I realize that something's missing in my life. Well, I don't know if you are in that age range and you're thinking something's missing in my life, or maybe you're younger and you're thinking, I don't want to get to that point. I don't want to get to that point where I'm thinking, what did I do? I missed out. I missed out on all these years. So we have to look at ourselves and say, where am I right now? Am I allowing myself to be on an adventure? Is there something missing in my life? Now, a lot of times we are aware that we're wanting more, we're wanting to be on that adventure, and we can't understand why things aren't quite happening the way we want. Well, I know for me, I've checked in with myself many times over the years, and I found myself sitting on a fence. It was like this white picket fence, and I'm sitting there going, okay, do I do it or do I not do it? Do I do it or do I not do it? And I'm not consciously thinking that. But when you take that sense of adventure and you get off of the fence, all of a sudden you're no longer feeling safe, right? You're not feeling safe. So this is what keeps us holding back, because we want to feel safe. But when you stay on that fence and you feel that something is missing, you're not giving expression to your soul. You're not moving into alignment with God and the way you were created. So therefore, you're never going to quite be at that joyful, peaceful, passionate, playful place. We want to get off of the fence. Again, it can come back to that time of when you were a kid and parents saying, "Ooh, be careful." Maybe they didn't say that, but you saw somebody taking a risk and they failed. Maybe you saw them really struggle financially or in a relationship. So those things can affect us. Those things that we've watched around us can shut us down to being on that adventure. Maybe we have some experience as a child where you tried something new and then you were bullied. That would really shut down your sense of adventure, right? If you were humiliated, if you were hurt, maybe you had a sense of adventure and you got hurt. I know one time I was with a friend in sixth grade. We were at a lake house. We were playing ball out on this deck. The ball went over the side. It was a steep hill. I said, I'll go get it. I climb over the side and I go down the hill. Next thing I know, I'm rolling down the hill. I'm hitting trees and I am beaten up. My back's beaten up. My got knots on my head. It took me a while to get past that. It took me a while to say, okay, I can have a sense of adventure and not fear getting hurt. That was a big one for me. I can do this. I can go out there and be aware, but at the same time keep taking steps forward so that I am living that expression within myself. So I want us to dive into this meditation today. And I want you to first, we're gonna look at this and we're gonna say, okay, are you giving yourself permission to be on an adventure, or are you sitting on the fence, or are you hiding? Are you just under the table hiding, going, no, this isn't true for me? And that's okay. If your soul is not into adventure, that's okay. But again, adventure can look like many different things. Maybe it's just giving yourself a voice. Maybe it's going out and talking to people where you haven't allowed yourself to do that in the past. Okay. So we're going to look at this. Where are you being called to do the adventure? Where are you blocking it and why? So we can help you shift it. Because once again, for you to really be that woman leader of love, you've got to be willing to let go of the controls. You've got to be willing to not see what's on the other side. You can visualize it. You can set an intention of, I am creating this and I'm so grateful for this, but then, close it out with this or something better, right? You can do that, but you have to be willing to let go of what is around there, what is around that corner, and say yes to your soul, because that's where the joy is. So I want to dive into this meditation and let's just see what happens. So we're going to get grounded for a minute, and then we're going to dive in and look at where are you blocking adventure, and what your soul calling you to do, where are you blocking it and why, and then let's see what happens. Okay. So I want to invite you right now to just take a breath and close your eyes if you feel like doing that. And hold it and release. Take another deep breath, bringing it in through your nose. Hold it and release. I want to invite you right now to just visualize opening up your crown. We're going to connect to our higher selves, which is right above your head, bringing in the light, bringing the light of your higher self, bringing in the light of wisdom and truth, light of love. Let's go ahead and bring in some light of adventure, risk. Bring all of that in, let it swirl around and move into your head and say yes to it. If you want to be courageous right now, just say yes. Yes, yes, yes. Breathing in. Now let that light go down into your face and your neck. Breathing into this. Really releasing any energy that is stuck. Let's go ahead and move that energy down your arms. And you can even put your hands out with your palms up and let everything flood out. Out of the palms of your hands and your fingertips. Just let go of all that stuck energy. And now we're going to come back up as that continues to flood out your hands. We're going to come back up to the shoulders and bring that energy into your heart space. Breathing into this. Coming down into your power center, right where your ribs meet, and bringing that energy in as well. Feels so good. Continuing down with that energy now into your belly. Feel every muscle in your body starting to relax more and more into this conversation and this meditation. Now we're going to come down into the base of your spine, breathing into this. Let's bring that energy down your legs. Let it settle into your knees, clearing out any energy here. And then moving down into your calves, and your shins, and your ankles, into your feet, and releasing all that energy out the balls of your feet and the tips of your toes. You're saying yes to adventure, yes to risk, yes to letting go of the controls. And now feel that energy flooding all around you, washing all the energy that is in your auric field. Imagining that egg of energy all the way around you, cleansing it on the inside and on the outside. So everything is coming into a higher vibration, really connecting to the energy of love, to the energy of God. And then let everything go down to the bottom. And imagine sending all this energy that you're ready to release down under your feet into a column of light, your grounding cord, and send that back to the center of the earth, all that energy. So as you're sitting here and you're breathing and you're feeling yourself going deeper and deeper into relaxation, deeper and deeper into surrender, I want you to check in with yourself and just ask, am I sitting on the fence when it comes to being on an adventure? Am I hiding and saying no way? Or am I taking steps? And if you are taking steps, is there resistance? Is there some fear? And just get honest with yourself. If you find you're saying something to yourself and then you're like, I don't know if that's true, just get really, really honest. And if you find yourself grasping, remember to just breathe and open up your crown again. That's a state of surrender. So just give yourself permission to go there. So hopefully you're in awareness now of something in your life, or maybe your whole life, about adventure. And wherever you are in this moment, I want you to take a look at it and say, okay, so where does this fear come from? Is there a belief I'm holding on to? Is there a belief that says life is scary? I can't go around that corner without knowing what's on the other end? Did you take on a parent's energy and it's not your own? Maybe the parent squashed your energy of adventure and you said, I really want to be that way, but you couldn't because your parent wouldn't allow you. What is that energy that you're feeling? And where does it come from? And if you're struggling with this at all, you can call in your inner child, the little 5-year-old inside of you. You can call her in and ask her, what's got you stuck? You can even ask, what happened to you that makes you so afraid of being on an adventure? You may see pictures in your mind. You may have the knowingness. You may feel. You may have thoughts that pop up. Whatever works for you, that's perfect. What's got you in resistance or being totally stuck or sitting on that fence? And now let's take whatever message you got and let's put it in a beautiful rose, visualizing the head of the rose like a vacuum, like it's pulling that energy in. And I want you to imagine all that energy is moving out of your aura. It's moving out of every cell of your body. It's even moving out of your grounding below you. And as it's moving, I want you to check in with yourself. Do you find yourself going, ooh, I can actually do this? I can be on an adventure. Do you find yourself getting a little bit excited? Or do you find yourself still in fear? So if there's more fear, allow that fear to just say hello to it, say, I get it. And you can move that into your rose. Let all that energy go in. If you find yourself going, oh, I just don't know. I just don't know. I want to be on this adventure. I just don't know. I want you to imagine your inner child and just say to her, I want to go on this adventure. Do you want to go on this adventure? And if she says yes, then say, okay, let's do it. If she says no, it's because she's feeling as if she's going to be abandoned. She's going to be lost. She's not going to be safe. So I want you to imagine picking that little girl up, or little boy, if we've got some men on here, picking that child up in your lap and saying, at any moment we can stop. At any moment we can take a break. At any moment we can just be. I want you to know that I've got your back. Let's take some more of that energy. Hopefully she released some energy. And you can even see like having the reins of your life and handing them over and putting that in the rose as well. It's a state of surrender when you hand those reins over. And let's take that rose, it's really big and heavy, and send it out into the universe, blowing it up like confetti, which is what we always do, sending it back with love. Breathing this in. And now I want you to imagine that the energy of adventure is flooding in and filling up all the spaces that you just removed energy. We're We're, we're, we're filling ourselves up. We're getting the cup full. Let's put it that way. So let that energy come in, coming into the crown, and just saying yes to it. I give myself permission to take a risk, to step forward. I give myself permission to live joyfully and powerfully and passionately. And as you're bringing that energy in, I want you to imagine what this now looks like for you as you say yes to it. And if you are not there, that is okay. You can come back and listen to the replay. If you're saying, I am not ready to take that risk, that is okay. But I still want to invite each of you to visualize what would it look like if you took the risk that you saw today for yourself. And even if you didn't, what would it look like if you actually get to a place where you can take that risk and you can be on an adventure? So I want you to visualize that in your mind. And now I want you to allow that visual to drop down into your heart and put a word to it. What's the feeling? What is that sense that you would feel? Is it empowered? Is it free? Is it playful? Is it passionate? Is it joyful? Is it brave, courageous? Whatever the word is, let that come into your heart space and feel that feeling. Feel the feeling of you being on an adventure. And now imagine a dial in front of you and turn up the dial to 100%. Saying yes to it. Yes, yes, yes. Yes, yes, yes. I give myself permission to be on this adventure. I give myself permission to trust that I am nurtured and protected. See, what you're doing right now as you sit in this space and just hold that vision is that by showing up here weekly and loving and nurturing yourself and hopefully doing it on a daily basis, you are actually holding the vibration of being loved and nurtured. And as you continue to own your worth this way, that's what's going to be mirrored to you. So doing this is actually your act of safety, of creating an energetic safety net. So breathing through this, feeling that feeling. Yes. And if you want to create a mantra right now, you might say something like, I am free because I am on a magical adventure. Whatever it is for you. I am, and then put some words to it. Make it as if it is already happening. Breathing into this. Feeling that energy of adventure. Boy, I just talking about it, I feel my heart expanding. I want you to just say yes. Yes, 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 yes. I feel my heart expanding. I feel this love and this excitement and this joy. I want you to just feel it inside of yourself and just say yes, yes, yes. Breathing into all the way to your toes, to the tips of your fingers, energetic field, your aura around you, all the way down into your grounding to the center of the earth. It feels so good. You can even imagine yourself doing a little jig. You can even imagine yourself being on that adventure and just celebrating. Breathing into this. Ooh, and when you're ready, you can come back into this space. Wow. I was feeling that so much, you guys, just with life, just being on that adventure. I don't know about you guys, but it's so funny because I live up in the mountains, and I can get up in the morning and feel sluggish. I can feel like, ugh. And if I will check in with myself and say, okay, I need an adventure, literally, I can just get in my car and go take a drive, not knowing where I'm going, feeling the nudges to turn left, feeling the nudges to turn right. And something as simple as that will feed my sense of adventure. And then, of course, like having a big adventure, going on this trip that we're about to go on, which, by the way, we will not be having a Women Leaders of Love Own Your Worth Wednesday next Wednesday, because I will be on my vacation. Yay! But just being in that sense, like I'm thinking today, okay, is there a hurricane coming into where we're going? Well, I guess we're going to find out. And if our flights get canceled, we'll just get in the car and drive. We'll go to it. I don't know. I'm not going to miss my vacation. I'm going on an adventure. So just feel the energy of that when you say yes to it. I mean, I don't know about you, but you see how I'm smiling thinking about that word? Because for me, adventure is a huge part of my soul. Now, it may not be that way for you. But what's so cool about it is that when you recognize it in yourself, maybe you have a partner. If you don't have it and they do, and they want that sense of adventure, you can see how that excites them. Like my husband, Charlie, he likes adventure, but his adventure is building our coffee company. That's every day is steam's coming out of his ear because he's going to create something new. That's his adventure. For me, it's going and doing stuff. It's trying new things. So we have to understand each other about what is our sense of adventure, because if you can communicate that, if you're in a partnership or with your children, like I said, I had one kid who was more adventurous than the other, but now my one who wasn't that adventurous in doing physical risk is doing it in business. So we all have a different way of expressing it and being in it. When we can recognize this is right for me, but it may not be right for you, we might have to, for instance, in our partnerships and our marriages, if you're married, is be willing to go out and do the adventure for yourself, even if your partner doesn't want to. Okay. That's being a woman leader love. There's such a tendency that we'll do what everyone else around us wants to do. And then we lose that part of ourselves. If you have a partner who is on an adventure, if you have a friend who wants to be on an adventure and it doesn't ring true for you, you can say, okay, well, am I supposed to be learning from this friend? Or can we just meet in our friendship in another way? It's not about judging them for being that way. It's saying that's how their soul is expressed. And it's just different than mine. And as I said, with kids, if you have children or grandchildren, oh my goodness, to be able to see where kids don't necessarily have that sense of adventure, or they might have that, and then to nurture whatever it is. And even if they don't, to encourage it. I see with my grandbaby, I was down a couple of months ago, and they bought her this little bouncy house. It was on sale at Costco. And so they bought it to put in the backyard. Well, it had these 3 little steps that you put in the little plastic to climb up to go down this little bitty slide. When I first got there, my grandbaby was just in the little bouncy part. She wouldn't go up, and everybody was kind of sitting back. Well, I climbed right in the bouncy with her and started throwing her around and pushing her down, and she's laughing. She's 2 years old. Then I show her where these little holes are. And at first she was afraid. And I said, you can do it. You can do it. I said, come on. I said, I would do it, but Nana might knock the whole thing over because it's not that big. So she puts her little feet in there. And next thing you know, she's climbed to the top, and whoa, she's just had this amazing adventure, right? Next thing you know, she's going down the slide. Now she's like, whoa, I'm really on this adventure. She's not thinking it, but you can see her little spirit coming alive. Then she wants to climb up the slide, and not the little holes, but up the slide. And at first she was getting afraid because she's in her dress and her knees getting caught on the dress, and it wasn't working. So I said, well, let's tie it up. And they tied it up, and sure enough, she's going up the slide. So now this child has gone from 0 to 100 in a matter of minutes, because there was encouragement and there was a sense of, let me get in there and and be on this adventure with you. So if you have kids or grandkids and you see yourself in them in some way, and you say, well, maybe they want to be on an adventure and maybe we're both holding ourselves back, maybe you can do it together. Okay. So just shift your mindset into where you want to be with this. Do you want to take that risk? Do you want to say yes to it so that life is a little bit more exciting and a little bit more passionate and fun? Or do you want to sit back? You get to decide in every moment, but just know that adventure is your soul calling you to follow the breadcrumbs so that you move into alignment with who you truly are and how you were created. Again, adventure might be a little piece of adventure is enough for your soul. That's what your soul's calling. And then your other part of you, some of you may have this big piece. You get to decide, but you want to honor it. You really want to honor it and say yes to it, because that's when you come alive. So I want to open up for questions right now. If you would like to ask a question, I can see somebody put something on the chat. Daniela says, exciting. Yes, that is so true. So if you want to ask a question, you'll see at the bottom, there's a menu bar on your screen and you'll see the little face. It says reactions. You can click on it and raise your hand so that you can ask a question and I will help you in any way I can. It can be regarding today's meditation. It can be about something in your own life. This is where we get adventurous, right? Because a lot of times people are going, oh, I'm on video, I don't want to ask this question. If your soul is saying, I'd really like to ask the question, but you're holding yourself back, I want to invite you to take a risk. I want to invite you to be on that adventure. So somebody raised their hand. Let me see who this is. So, okay, here's her name again. Trinicius, I think is what it is. I'm going to ask you to unmute yourself. And the way you unmute yourself is your mic is on the bottom. There you are. Did I say
Hi.
Trinicius?
You got it perfect. Yes, you got it, Terri. How are you?
I'm great. How are you this week?
I'm doing well, doing well. The meditation was awesome. I really felt that today.
Yeah.
And I missed the first 10 minutes when you of the video and you talked about the oh gosh, I forgot the name of it. But anyway, during the meditation, I found that I was stuck on the fence.
Oh, good awareness. That's awesome.
Right. I was stuck on the fence, but I was stuck on the fence, not because I was in fear, because, since I've been following you and participating on these weekly calls, that fear is disappearing. Thank God.
Yay!
Yes, it is. So it's not because I'm afraid, but what I did ascertain is that it's because I don't have a vision. I don't have a vision. My inner child was saying, you don't have a vision. You don't know what your purpose is. So you don't know what direction to go. You have no sense of where I should go. So I'm sitting on the fence waiting on God or somebody to come along and say, you go this way or you do this. And I've been sitting on that fence for a very long time.
Oh, what an incredible awareness. They say awareness is like 95% of the game, right? So,
Yes.
Wow, that's really huge.
Yes.
So first off, just being here and practicing this stuff on a daily basis and, and what you just mentioned a second ago, you're already stepping into your purpose because you're choosing love. Okay. So Women Leaders of Love is a divine purpose, and it means that it can expand to other things, but it's about recognizing that my purpose right now is I am choosing love in every moment. Okay. When I'm having reactions, I'm going to go do my inner work and look at, okay, what am I reacting to? How do I need to move into alignment? And so when you're sitting there, it's almost like you're waiting for this authority figure to tell you what to do.
Yes.
Okay. And what I get with this is that I had this, and you can tell me if I'm wrong, but when I was a kid, I remember after winning Miss USA, somebody was at the parade they gave me and they said, I'm not surprised you won. And I said, why? And she said, because when you were a kid, you had to act so perfectly. And then your dad, would just look at you and you'd freeze. So it was that sense of waiting to be told it was okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And
Mhm.
waiting to be told it was okay to follow my passions, to step
Yeah.
into it. So it feels like to me that you're sitting there and you're waiting for someone to tell you it's okay.
Yes.
Does that
Yes.
resonate?
Yes. Yes, it does.
Okay. So what if you were that person to give
Mm.
the permission?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What if you right now sitting on that fence and visualize little Trinicius sitting next to you, and you get off of the fence and you turn around and you look at her, putting
Mm.
your arms on either side of her and say to her, I give you permission to get off the fence.
I give you permission to get off the fence.
Now I want you to check in with that. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So how does that feel when you become the authority?
It feels like grace,
Feels like grace.
like grace, like
Yeah.
I'm giving myself some grace.
Yeah. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
because when we get so what's been happening is you've had this belief that I have to wait on somebody to tell me, and that's really your inner child that's doing that, and you the adult hasn't known what to do with it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so your little kid's going, I really want to go into my purpose, I really want to do this, and you're sitting there going, but I we're waiting, we got to wait. And so now it's recognizing that you, when you get in touch with your heart space, you are being an expression of God. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
you are being that expression. So maybe if you could go and explore anything right now, if you could be on an adventure like we were talking about, if is there a class you would want to take, is there a career that you'd want to shift into, what is the first thing that popped up for you?
I want to be a speaker.
Oh,
I want to help. I want to do like what you're doing. That's
awesome.
what I want to
Are you a
do.
coach?
Yeah, I am certified life coach, but I'm not using it. I haven't been really using it.
Why is that?
I feel like I need a little more practice. I need to shadow someone.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what I'm getting is you just need to shadow God. Okay. You just need to shadow God, girl. You
Okay.
just need to go into a state of surrender and ask to be used on a regular basis.
Mm-hmm.
See how can I serve today? Who can I talk to today? And let it show up in your space. If you'll open your heart to that place, then you can start practicing. When I got out of my schooling, I had a 2-year schooling that I was in, and it was more about around energy healing, and because I was considered a spiritual counselor. And then I shifted it to coaching when I realized I can better help people if I'm coaching them the tools, and so that they can become empowered.
Right.
But when I first came out of my schooling, I'd say to people when I was doing intuitive readings and stuff, and I'd say, okay, we're going to do this. Tell me if I'm wrong. And I still
Right.
say that, right? Because I'm human. I have my filter. And I'm
Right.
like, tell me if I'm wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And so I just took baby steps of being on that adventure.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to encourage you, if that's what's in your heart,
Mm-hmm.
then start doing some sessions with, call on a few friends and say, I want to do this. I will be happy to do a session for you. Or if you have somebody, just
Mm-hmm.
put it out there, and you can, start it at a minimal payment, start it at $65 an hour. And, and because that's like $1 a minute and change, right?
Right.
So why not try it that way? That's the way I started. Okay.
Okay.
I just put it out there. I took that risk. So
Okay.
how do you know until you do it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Right.
Because the only way you get good or whatever you think you need to shadow someone is by
Mm-hmm.
doing it.
Yes.
Okay. And I can tell you're tapped in. I
Mm-hmm.
can tell you're tapped in.
Yeah.
Do you recognize that?
I do. I do.
Okay. So I can tell you're tapped in. I also see kind of like angel wings on you, like earth angel wings.
Mm-hmm.
So it tells me you've got a huge heart
Mm-hmm.
and that you really care about people.
Yeah.
You know what? if you're tapped in and you care about people and your heart is big, that's all you need.
That's
Okay.
great. Yeah.
That's all you need.
Okay.
Okay.
That's
So
encouraging.
I'm sorry.
That's encouraging.
Yeah, because I mean, this is what so for you, you've been holding yourself back on this fence. And I just really want to applaud you for recognizing that, because that's a big one, right? To say, okay, this is what I want, but I'm not allowing myself to go there. I'm not allowing myself to be on the adventure.
Mhm.
What if you took the attitude now of, okay, I don't know if I'm good enough. I
Mhm.
don't know if what's around the corner, but I'm going on this grand adventure,
Yeah.
right? And you
Mhm.
take that little kid, your inner child, by the hand, and you can take whoever you see in your life. Is it, is it God? Is it Christ? Is it whoever it is for you? And take them by the hand and like, okay, we're going down the yellow brick road.
Right.
And here's what the deal is if you're honest and you're saying, I'm just starting out with this or whatever, and I really want to serve, people
Mhm.
will give you honest feedback.
Okay.
Okay. And you
Mhm.
will learn. So that's the best way to learn, is to just do it, and then and be so authentic and so real with them, and saying, this is what I'm doing, this is what's in my heart,
Mhm.
give me some feedback.
Okay.
Okay.
Mhm.
And let go of that belief that you have to be at a certain caliber before you can start doing it.
Right.
No.
Right. Okay.
Your heart is in the right place.
Mhm.
Okay. Your heart is in the right place.
Okay.
So I want to invite you to be on that adventure.
Okay.
How does that feel?
It feels good. I think you hit it when you said that I didn't realize it until just now that I do have that belief that I have to be at a certain place in order to start doing this. So you just knocked that down.
Yep.
Me. Mhm.
Yeah. Think about, I mean, I don't know how old you are. How old are you?
I'm turned 58 yesterday.
Happy birthday. Well,
Thank
that's
you.
awesome.
Thank you.
So I just met this girl who's 28, and she's already got her own course up. She's doing, she's teaching jade egg, which is releasing, sexual energy and stuff like that. And
Mhm.
she's a massage therapist. She's 28.
Wow.
And she's just going for it, and I really applaud her for that. And I think, how many 28-year-olds are willing to do that, especially around sexual energy and in this. And I said, your mama must have raised you right. And she said, I figured this all out on my own, because her mom didn't do
Right.
anything around it. Okay.
Mm.
So if you have it, if it's part of your core, it's there.
Okay.
Okay. And if you've been called to do that and it's in your soul, then it's there. So just
Mm.
do it.
All right.
Just do it.
All right. Let's do it. Thank you so much, Terri.
Thank you.
This
Thank you.
is
Thank you. Okay,
wonderful.
I'm gonna put your mic back on. And then I wanted to see, somebody wrote something here. Daniela said, why do we want to control the outcome before a relationship is beginning? I would prefer already knowing in the beginning if the guy is worth it to invest my feelings and energy, or if I will get disappointed. Oh my gosh. I just had this conversation with a friend today, similar to this. So Daniela, what I would say to you is, because we want to feel safe, we don't want to hurt. We always want to control because it feels bad, right? When we're hurt, or if it doesn't work out, we feel like, oh my gosh, I made a mistake again. How about shifting the consciousness around this conversation, getting clear on what you want to create in a relationship, what you want, feeling the feeling. Okay, so this is where we tap into the vibration and the feeling. And then be open and find and check in with yourself and say, am I blocking this? Am I in resistance? And if you are in fear and you're trying to control, recognize that, once again, that's the little inner child inside of you who is afraid. Okay, she's the one who's afraid. So be the divine mother to her, be the woman leader of love to that little girl, and say, I get that you're afraid. I get that it's uncomfortable. And she's going to feel a lot safer. But here's the difference. So when you've had issues in the past, maybe going out on with dates or finding someone, were you practicing the tools that you're learning now? Because if you didn't practice tools, then you would have seen everything as happening to you. But now, because we know that our outer world is a mirror to our inner world, if something bad comes along or there's disappointment, then you know it's happening for you. That maybe there's this relationship that didn't work, or maybe you thought it was working and then he turns out to be a jerk or whatever, that he's showing you something inside of you that says, this is what I deserve. So then it becomes an opportunity of healing so that you can love yourself deeper and put yourself into a vibration where you can truly attract the person that you want in your life. So it's about knowing that where you were before is not where you are now. Okay. Because you are not that person. You have spiritual tools. You're practicing this stuff. You're showing up here and you're loving yourself. And if you continue to do that on a daily basis, then that love will be mirrored back to you in a relationship. But just know that controlling the outcome and being needy in a relationship, or I'm not saying that you are, I'm just recognizing a lot of people have been, and I used to be that person. Okay. I used to be really needy because I didn't feel loved. And so I would hold on to relationships until they were dead and, just hold on, trying to do it right. And then they would fall apart finally. And I'd wake up but when I go back now, because I didn't have tools back then, is when I go back and look at it and go, wow, this is what I learned from this relationship. This is what I learned from this relationship. And I wouldn't change any of them because they brought me to where I am now in my relationships. So if you can do that, maybe if you've had some in the past and there's pain around them, say, well, what did I learn? What was the gift in that relationship? So now if you do that with each thing, then there's not so much a need to control. There's more of a state of surrender going, okay, what's the universe bringing to me now? What am I going to see? And when it's the divine timing, the right one will show up. But in the interim, it may be the one that comes next, or it may be that there's some beautiful gift that's going to be revealed to you so that you can go deeper into loving yourself and getting yourself into that high worthiness quotient and really owning your worth. So I hope that helps. I hope that helps a lot in helping you see yourself. So we have a time for one more question. If anybody wants to raise their hand, and I'll be watching this for a second. I just want to remind those who are on Facebook watching, if you want to be a part of this call where you can ask questions every week and you're not part of my mailing community, you can go to terribritt.com/leaders and get my worthiness quotient breakthrough bundle. And it's free. It's an ebook and some meditations to help you really understand what we're doing as women leaders of love and help you get a clearer picture with your purpose. And then because you get that, you'll be added to this mailing list. And then next week, or not next week, because I'm gonna be on vacation, but every Wednesday after that, you get a link in your inbox with the Zoom link and to be able on this call so you can ask questions. So Daniela says, I love that. Thanks, Terri. You are so welcome. So does anyone else have a question? I also want to invite you guys, if you haven't done it, we're talking about owning your worth, right? Claiming your crown and owning your worth and really living out loud fully, whatever that looks like for you. And I talk about constantly your outer world is a mirror to your inner world. If you haven't taken my worthiness quotient quiz, you should go take it because we break it down into a whole bunch of different areas in your life to let you see, am I really owning my worth in this area or am I not? And so you're going to get a clearer picture on what that looks like for you, because there's a tendency to think, oh, I've owned my worth. And then when we start really paying attention to our feelings and take this quiz, we find out differently sometimes. And then sometimes we're masterful in certain areas and other times we're not. So anyway, it's terribritt.com/quiz. So I want to invite you guys to take it if you haven't done it, because it's really cool. It was a divine download. Anybody else have a question? Okay, well then we are going to wrap it up today. So I want to take us back into a little mini meditation. If y'all have any comments or anything, you can post them here. If you are on Facebook, I will come and look at your comments after this call and answer anything that comes up. So let's just do a little mini meditation to wrap this up today. So I want to invite you to just close your eyes and take a breath and hold it and release. Take another deep breath. Hold it and release. I want to invite you right now as you sit in this space, let's sit in gratitude. Let's sit in gratitude for this group of people who show up here and who are so supportive and holding this space of healing, supporting each other as we walk this path as women leaders of love to really own our worth so that we are that change in the world. And I want to just invite you right now, as we talk some today about being on that adventure, that you see yourself right now as that woman leader of love walking, or maybe even running or flying in an adventure, that you're saying yes to it, that you feel alive, you feel passionate, you feel whole, you feel fulfilled. Feel that, what that would be like, and begin feeling that today, because you're already doing this right now. You're already saying yes to this divine purpose. And I want you to just feel that and see it. Imagine looking at your body and saying, yes, I am empowered in this purpose. Feel that feeling, saying, yes, 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 thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for this love. Thank you for this healing. I just send so much love to each of you for being here, because by you being here, I get to share my gifts of yapping and healing and intuition and all the good stuff, right? And I just want to say thank you to you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for each of you. So with that, let's take another deep breath, release. Take another deep breath and release. Alrighty, so once again, I will not be here next week, but please put it on your calendar, because after that, every Wednesday at 2 p.m. Eastern, we are doing this on Zoom and Facebook. And again, you can join us on Zoom at terribritt.com/leaders. And for those of you who have become regulars, I'm so grateful for all of you. And for those of you who are new today, and I see some old friends, Amy, I see you, and Sharon, I see some people here that have been in my communities over the years that I haven't seen in a while. I'm so glad you're here. Thank you, thank you, thank you for being here. So you guys have a wonderful day, a wonderful week, and I will see you here in 2 weeks. Bye-bye, everybody.